Right.
Welcome to Bullish. Bullish.
Bullish.
We're not going to introduce ourselves because it doesn't matter who we are. We are faceless, nameless people just here to talk about the greatest show on television currently.
Industry. HBO. Industry.
This is not a sponsored endeavor. I think we just needed a creative outlet.
Yeah, however, if this does go out into the world and you would like to sponsor us,
We will eventually be
we
open.
will sponsor. Unlike grits and eggs, we will accept gambling and dick pill ads. As the show would want me to do.
Yes. Well, we are not going to show our faces. You'll
We're
have
not showing our faces.
the sounds of our voices, which I mean, we could probably do it. We could sell some dick pills.
Easy.
Sure.
This show calls for it. A lot of dick.
Speaking of dick,
A lot of.
we're starting on season 4 of Industry because, well, first of all, I forgot to tell us about the name. So I came up with the name. If y'all start to hear bleeps, it's because now we're referring to ourselves by our name. And like I said, we're nameless and faceless, so it's not up for you to discuss. And also, you don't need to know who we are because this is our opinion. So before y'all start attacking us, just know everything that we say is our opinion. And like assholes, we are entitled to have one. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So Bullish, I came up with that about a week ago via text message because so if you've seen Industry, hopefully you've seen Industry if you're hearing this, but we've seen Industry. And Industry is all about the stock market. It's all about finance. It's all about being bullish and bearish. And I looked up the definition of bullish. Being bullish is, I actually saw that in the article where they described, or like one of the taglines or like catchy lines at the end of a paragraph was like, you should be bullish on Industry season 4 on the reviews. And I looked up the definition because it was like I understood what it was with context clues, but I think you and I both know we don't know shit about the stock market.
At all.
And so what I found was that when something is bullish, it's referring to a trend in the stock market. Trends can be bullish or bearish. And it describes whether markets are appreciating or depreciating in value. I will say, people were pretty bearish on Industry up until literally a month and a half ago.
Yeah. Season 3.
Season 3.
End of season 3 just popped off.
And really like after it was off already.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like people got bored during the summer. And there was also like no Sunday night HBO shows.
Yeah.
So I think people like tapped back in and are suddenly like loving it down.
And the people crave a high drama TV show. That was why I feel like that's why Lotus exploded. Although Industry is the better show.
Yeah, for sure.
So back to the name, bullish. When you talk about a bullish market, it means that investors have a confident outlook in the market and the economy is on the rise. Positive. I would say we're bullish right now.
Yeah. I'm pretty standard on the market, honestly. I've been bullish on Industry since I learned about it.
Yes.
But Yeah, season 4, I'm high. I'm still riding the high of a new season,
Yes.
but I think we'll get to that more as we
Yeah,
as we continue on.
we'll get into that more. But we'll explore some formatting things with this. Like I said, this is a creative endeavor, but um, yeah. So why? How did you get into industry? Why are we watching industry? What the fuck is industry?
What is industry? Well, industry looks behind the curtain of buttoned up white collar banker work, financiers. It shows what it takes to rise to the VP, the president, the CEO seat. It also provides a lens into the complexities of the upper earners in places like government, journalism, finance. We see how all these worlds mash and collab to share and spread wealth among themselves. And so we're basically following our young black queen, Harper Stern, on her quest to become enmeshed in the lucrative, deviant, and white finance world. I started watching this because you told me about this show. Told me about this show randomly one weekend during the pandemic, also known as, and for industry's sake, the bandemic.
The dark.
And the dark day the dark days for real when I was deep in Florida, uh, and while there, I learned about the show, and I watched, I think, all of season 1
Mhm.
in, like, one
Season 1
day.
was already out. I saw
Yeah.
I saw industry after season 1 had aired, or it was
Yeah.
in progress of air.
After season 1 had aired, and then as season 2 was about to begin,
Mm,
because I do have some live tweets about season 2 on Industry. Um, so that's sort of how I began my journey following the young Harper Stern, about, what's that, 7 years now? 6 years ago.
damn, yeah. We grew up with Harper.
We
I
grew up
think
with
that we
Harper.
watch a lot of TV between the 2 between the 2 of us, we consume a lot of slop, a lot of media. We consume too much, some might say, and I feel like Industry was such a different show than what we were watching at the time. I think I was also craving something a little bit more cerebral, a little bit more, not serious, but, like, something to, like, think about besides
Yeah.
my current reality.
I think that's true, and I think the characters and, like, the depths of the characters provide you a lot to chew on.
Yes, there's a lot there. It's a very my old coworker would describe this as high calorie. He said he can't watch
It's
shows that were too high cal.
I get that full fat. It's a full fat Coke, no diet,
It's
okay?
it's sweet. This is something sweet.
Yeah.
It's very rich text. But yeah, so we're probably gonna just recap eventually all the episodes, but we're just gonna go through season 4. We weren't granted screeners for whatever reason, but for if you're listening and you have an English
Please.
screener,
Please invite us in.
we need
Invite
that.
us in.
First of all, we took handwritten notes, which I had
Full
not done.
media,
I have not
try
done
to
this.
make sounds in the mic. My papers.
Yeah, our papers wrestling. I have not done that since BC for sure before COVID. Um, I have 9 pages of handwritten notes. So we're gonna go scene-ish by scene and just share our thoughts. And we want to hear what you guys think too. So maybe if you know us and you know where to find us, ask us or give us feedback or comments.
However, if we do not know you, we will not respond.
You you will not hear back from us.
You will not hear back from
That's
us.
the promise. Okay, should we get into the first episode? Okay, the first episode is Payval of Bukake.
Ooh. Just the name is
Let's
just ugh.
let's just pause and then
Let's pause on the name.
literally
Bukkake.
pause.
When I read it, I said, I don't know about this one.
We already knew where this was gonna go.
Yeah.
Cause like how would you describe industry up to this point?
I think industry is a pretty dark look, very dark,
Words.
very um sort of porn fetish heavy already, which sort of leans into
Porn.
which happens a lot.
And then what's the third?
Um and the third word would be I would say smart.
Yeah. I would agree with all three of those words. Oh,
Exactly.
nailed it.
Nailed it.
Oh yeah, so given that we kind of
Mhm.
knew where this was going,
Yeah.
I put together a little summary of episode one. Like to hear it? Here we go. We open season four post Kirk in London with Pierpoint dead and gutted by the Saudis. Harper didn't make her big move that she had asked for at the end of season three. So, what does that mean? Well, it means that she can continue her insider trading empire out of her new London HQ as a fund manager for emerging villain Otto. For every industry cast member we've lost along the way, we've gained new players on the board. Haley and James greet us in the first scene with a high octane club meetup. Then we move to Quabena, a self assured junior trader working on Harper's desk while letting his misogyny fly in the face of our beloved Sweet Pea. Finally, we meet Whitney and Jonah, two key figures that are setting up the tinder of it all.
Hmm.
As co founders, their story is very social network esque. Jonah is bullish on Siren, a fictional but not too far off OnlyFans, while Whitney is slowly but surely turning their online payment platform into something much larger that may or may not be illegal. Boss and CEO here. Then there's Yasmin. The former heiress has assumed her position as the lady of the Muck dynasty, a job she is much better at than a financier. She's already seen sneaking and geeking to lobby on behalf of her husband, who has an alleged cold, red, light heroin addiction,
Like,
like a moth to a flame. The first episode picks up the pieces of the devastation at the end of season three. No Bank, no Eric wielding a bat in front of his inferiors, no Rob, and no morals. The episode whips us through all of the plot points that are bound to develop over the course of the season, a la sex, drugs, and rock and roll. We start to hear inklings of privacies online and IRL being violated, deregulation pushes, and ominous trips to Africa. What could go wrong? How was
yeah,
that?
that was great. That was a great recap. I love that. That was very detailed. Felt like I was there.
I hope
Let's
so.
jump in. Let's jump into the pre-industry title card hit. Like you were saying, um we see our Stranger Things alum,
Which
uh
I,
James,
I
also called himself Jim,
yes.
who is a seemingly everyone knows who he is. He's a columnist, he's a writer for basically like the Times, Financial Times type of thing. He's trying to get down to the bottom of something in this first scene. We see him sort of lurking around Haley, who is of Mad Men alum. We last saw her as I guess she was kind of big, but she was still like a teenager in Mad Men. But now here she's all grown up. She's getting drunk, doing drugs, and hooking up with random men um
Look,
in the club. You know, she's living her hot girl life. They get back, they don't do anything. She wakes up, sees that he's gone. They go to the bathroom, or she goes to the kitchen, and he's there with a cup of coffee and reveals himself to be on the scene trying to find out more about her boss and this company, Tinder.
Like, they did sleep together. They
They
had
did sleep together?
yes, because she was like, I don't the line is so we'll get into the dialogue.
Fake black boyfriend. I don't I felt like it
You
wasn't
were
because
not
her
allowed to like
jeans.
that scene.
Yeah, I wasn't because
Left
her jeans
he
weren't
left the
fully
room and came back.
unbuttoned.
He left the room and came back and was like that was when they had that conversation, and it cut to the next morning, but it implied that they, like, slept together and he spent the night.
She's in the same shirt, she has her button the button is only one button's undone, she's still laying, it doesn't seem like she was
No,
sweating or in a rush.
but that's what I'm saying, after that scene is when it happened, like, it looked like
Mm,
it we got to where you're describing, they were, like, smoking or something, like, smoking a cigarette or something together, like, it hadn't gotten there, and then it got there. So that was why she was so mad about that happening.
interesting, we're definitely seeing that, I didn't think that, I literally have in my notes, "Oh, they don't hook up."
We need to go back because
Yeah,
we when I watched it again
yeah,
this morning, at first, because I thought the same thing. I had that impression the first time, but then I was like, "Oh, maybe that's what they meant by this," and then when I watched
mm.
it again, that's what I picked up.
I can see that. Either way, the girl is pissed.
The girl's pissed
She sh
because she was like,
Har not Harper, what's this lady's name?
Haley.
Haley. Haley
Rightfully
is
so.
pissed.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so, because like, what do you mean you follow me because you know who my boss is and you wanna get information? And I think something very critical here is that he tells her that the old assistant has disappeared.
Mhm. And
Like, what do you mean by that?
she's scared. She's so scared that she threatens him with her what?
Yeah. With her knife and her whiteness, and she says, "I have a big black boyfriend that's gonna come in at any time." Whoa. He says, "What do you mean by that?"
And she said, "You know what it means to me.
You knows what it means.
You know what time it is."
Heavy on the bitch. He's gonna beat you up. Something about that Jim Diker, he's odd. And also his real life character. He's just visually is a, you know,
He does look odd, but you didn't mention
he gives a little school shooter. He gives a little you might have a head in your or a hand in your freezer.
you didn't mention
I'll
it.
need
He was stalking Haley all night. Not only
he
because
was
of the
stalking Haley.
seemingly trying to get a quote for his piece that he's writing, but
Right. But instead he goes home with her.
and he got some punani.
Yeah. I put in our notes journalistic ethics violations like galore. It's over.
I was paying attention to the scoring last night since we were
I
doing
do
it.
have the songs.
True Faith by New Order
Mhm.
into such a chaotic brat summer vibe. The song is
Some beach
Firestarter.
house.
Yes, the song is Firestarter. So just like even the whole this group being New Order, and it seems like British punk music when I looked it up, which you didn't say this, the show is set in Britain, but like hopefully you
Yeah.
know that by now.
Yeah.
So
Set
I think it's really interesting how they use the music so well to
yeah.
to tell the story.
Yeah, and it's current, right? Like it's really adding on that this is happening within the same universe and reality that you're living in
Yes.
right now.
And even if the songs I feel like they do a good job of mixing like retro sounding songs and like current songs that may sound like that. Like it's just really good, old and new to kind of drive the point home. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's big and black. I also really think that every time we meet a new character on Industry, like they are always thinking about who they're gonna fuck. Like
Mhm.
it's always about sex, which if we're jumping into themes that we're seeing throughout like the episode, like what we think might be the season, this is like clearly a series theme, but like sex as a power proxy.
Yeah.
They're dominating people through sex. Because it's
Yeah.
some of the craziest sex scenes I've ever seen.
Sex is moves, like, as chess moves almost,
Yes.
which I did have something to say about that, and we will get to it. We
Yeah.
will get there because yeah, my notes yeah.
Yeah.
So then we have our title card and boom, I think honestly the best moment of the whole show, this whole episode are Harper's magical, beautiful, cunty grand entrance.
Bad bitches only. Bad bitches only. Bad bitches only. Bad bitches only. Harper looked fab.
Fab, she has her power suit. That head is held high. That neck back, them shoulders down.
Her bright
Power
tea.
struts.
Love.
Strutting in and the braids are micros, which means she has some money.
Human hair.
Human hair, they're flowing, they're bouncy, and she walks into a bunch of white folks and goes to her office, which she finds um a birthday card from her mother telling her, "I hope you got everything you wanted."
It looks like you got
Or it
everything
looks like
you
you got
wanted.
everything you wanted.
Love mom. And she's
Love,
turning
mom.
30, mind you.
And she's turning 30. Harper Jean is on the same time frame.
Mind you. She's on the same exact type of timing.
Yeah, so this is really our sister. And we learn she walks in very much like a boss. You know, she's telling everybody what to do. We see our sweet pea. We see our new guy. Can you remind
Quigley.
us of yeah. We see him. He's basically like the new Rishi, it seems like. And they are getting to business, but we also learned that Harper's on a short leash. She doesn't have full run. Although she has the bag, she doesn't have the power.
She doesn't.
And I think that is like we really see, okay, there
But
is
she
full
had some really
tension
good
here.
lines walking in to kind of set the stage of, like, something is happening that she can't quite control.
Yeah.
When she walks in, she says, "You guys are acting shifty." And then she said, "Are you under or overstimulated?"
Me.
I love that. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, in other words?
Yeah, what are y'all doing? Why is Sweet Pea running from her desk?
Why is everybody looking at me like I have 3 heads?
Yeah,
But it's
that's
because
weird.
they don't trust the play.
They don't trust the play. And that play is taking a short on basically any type of sex platforms, which one is called Siren
Mhm.
or Siren, as
Simon.
they were saying.
Simon
Uh,
is very
and this is because Harper has some insight on this online safety bill that's coming out.
mhm.
And the safety bill has a focus on adding age verification to these sort of porn sites.
Mhm.
And as they're trying to discuss and debate it among Sweet Pea and our other good friend, uh, they realize they're not on the same page about this shit. The black boy is just like, okay. And like people are gonna get on there and they're gonna get the porn regardless. They'll put it different. Like, what's the play? Like, Harper, why should we trust you on this? You don't have that long of a leash to do something that's gonna make everybody lose their money. Are you sure?
Yes, I think it's also worth noting that Sweet Pea is of Siren fame.
Sweet Pea is of Siren fame. Sweet Pea has been
I think
outed.
I think they're implying in this episode that she was
She
put
was
on
leaked.
Siren. Yes.
Yeah,
And I
she
think
was leaked.
when we met Sweet Pea, she had a consensual OnlyFans, which was something that was presumably you weren't able to get into that platform without age verification. There were just more
Yeah. And I
barriers.
think she was private. I don't think it was
She
her full
was being
face.
she was being paid for that as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I think they're implying that she was leaked. Oof.
Yikes. That's happened plenty of times, I'm sure. I know at our redacted high school, there were many a leak. So I can only imagine if it wasn't
A week.
from just your high school, but the whole
Internet.
London or wherever.
Yeah. This scene actually made me think a lot, which I think is also gonna come up is, made me think a lot about young people in the workplace and just, like,
Mm,
the uphill battle that you have to fight to be, like, taken seriously, and I do think that Harper is entertaining a lot of conversations, honestly, more than I thought she would be entertaining as a fund manager, knowing her trajectory and, like, how she works with others, but I do think to a certain extent they are much more junior to her, that they are kind of deferring to her in a way that's, letting her do whatever she wants, but she still is on that short leash, like you said.
yeah. And that they have a more talk back relationship with her than she did with Eric Tao,
Right.
you
Exactly.
know? Or that she would even have with Daria. There's just like that dynamic between all three of them that feels, even though Harper seems that she's the boss, that's more, um, I don't even know. Like they just seem more connected, more team
It's
than
more of a peer
she's the
relationship.
yeah, then she's the big boss, she's the manager. She shows them. She'll tell them to shut the hell up, shut the fuck up, all that. But end of the day, she's still entertaining them and not like, hey, don't talk to me like how many of her other bosses have done to her.
Exactly. Um, then we move to Jonah and Whitney. We meet Jonah and Whitney.
Me,
I
Jonah, and
wrote
Whitney.
I wrote for this scene, Jonah and Whitney are talking about coming.
Yeah, I said comes a lot, question mark. What does that even mean?
No, literally, I was like, "What's going on here?"
Like, I don't like
But
this.
I do I it was crass. It was a bit crass, but this is the dialogue that we love because I guess we could get into Jonah here. I appreciate how characters on Industry are like the perfect archetype. Like when you think of like a porn bro, like when I say porn bro, that's who
Yeah.
you're imagining Jonah. You're imagining somebody who is like probably really disrespectful, like
Yeah.
very just crass in speech, um, will kind of say anything very reactionary, very incendiary, like you're saying
Mhm.
to piss people off, stinky, like
Stinky.
that's
Just crass.
gross. Like think about that article. We might have to redact this, but like that article about the gooning article.
Oh.
Like I know it smell crazy in there.
You know it's more crazy in there because 'cause they're doing it for hours on end, and, that's what he's doing.
Yes.
Like, he looks nasty. They did a good job making him look just like a slob,
And like
and
as
then saying that he
clean.
stinks.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like, ew, you're just sleazy, you're drinking, you're doing drugs, and you're just fornicating
But I
everywhere.
also think the way that he, like, is the kind of character that makes your skin crawl,
Mhm.
also he's showing this kind of perversion that they're referring to when they're saying, like, these porn platforms are bad. Like, they're
Yeah.
implying, like, all of this perversion, and even when you're thinking about the whole, like, privacy issue overall, which is clearly a commentary on what's happening in our home country.
Yeah.
But just like the perversion of online relationships and how those boundaries can blur from reality, real life to
Mm.
online, how it doesn't quite translate all the time, and just like how people interact online versus how they interact in person.
Yeah.
It's very antisocial in the, like, social way.
Right. Literally how it does not work. All those type of comments that you're making online, how you're talking to people online does not translate in the real world at
Yeah.
all. It's seen as disgusting. And he was disgusting to his to I think make a good parallel to him almost to Whitney, right? Who they've been on this come up
Yeah,
together the whole
yeah.
time. Yeah, and who's probably just as filthy, nasty, stinky, dirty, disgusting type of man, but he knows how to clean up his act when he's in the room.
I
His
wrote
porn brain does is hiding in the background. It's not so ugly upfront Basquiat painting like Jonah.
I wrote in one scene, "Is Whitney a good person?" Question mark. Because
Yeah, I said evil, evil man. I said scary evil man at some point.
"Is Whitney a good person?" was more like um
Rhetorical
yeah,
question.
just a rhetorical it was a rhetorical device for my own writing. But then he also Jonah says this line, so they start so in the scene, they're being very crass, we don't have to go into the but before they got out the elevator, I did think this line was funny where Whitney was like, "I need coffee," and Jonah said, "I can't shit that much." I thought that was funny. Um, he also mentioned as they're talking about, like, porn, he talks about he drops Africa for the first time and reveals that Whitney has gotten them into some deal in Africa. And he says, "What's the next territory we can slap a tag on and call the global south?" Because Jonah is not bought in. Whatever Whitney is trying to do, Jonah is not bought in, and whatever Jonah is trying to do, Whitney is not bought in. So that's the first time we see this kind of tension of,
Yeah.
like, not only in how they're presented, but, like, their ideological tension as co-founders.
Yeah, and you see that too, like, I wrote down here that Jonah was looking at it more as a neobank, an alternative banking site with the gambling and the porn, like, that's what he wants it to be versus, um what's his name? Whitney really wanting it to be the private, like he says later on, but he wants it to be bigger than JP Morgan. He wants it to be bigger than Goldman Sachs. He wants it to not be a PayPal,
Yeah.
like,
He wants to be a bank killer.
derogatory.
He said he wants to be a bank.
Yeah. He wants to be a bank killer and he wants to be bigger than just these little freaky sites where nasty men can do their business.
Yes. But
He's
then
like, let's not do it. Let's do it in a different type of way.
right, but then Jonah's thought is he says human perversion is a hydra. So, like, it's gonna feed itself and it's gonna sustain itself. He's like, "We don't have to
Yeah.
worry about trying to chase more when we have this thing that's like a sure thing," which is kinda fucked up when you think about it, but
Yeah.
I also wrote, "This will come back." This is, like, where I first realized the perverse theme is gonna keep coming up.
Yeah. I think that is a good point that you said the Hydra because the next scene is Rishi.
Rishi. I wrote Rishi in a bar. Mm.
Rishi looks fucked up.
He his wife just got shot in the head, and this girl comes up to him and says, "You're actually at a wake," and he looks freaked out.
Yeah.
He's like, "Am I at my wife's wake?" I think this is where
Yeah.
we also first start to see Rishi is like his desperation.
Yeah. Yeah. In the state he's in,
Yeah. So
which is not
eventually
good.
he's schmoozing. He ends up buying this girl that said it's awake a drink. And she works for I don't really know how parliament works, but she
Yeah.
works for Bevin, who is this key
Like
political
assembly woman, council almost,
something
yeah, but
something
some
like
type of
something
yeah, she's
department
a
style. We don't live there.
kinda like a AOC,
Yeah, maybe she's
something
in
like that.
Congress, whatever. She they want Tinder will want her, and she also has a relationship with Yasmin, we will see, but these people work for Bevin. Their names are Jamie and I didn't get the girl's name. But Jamie bonds with Rishi by showing him porn on Siren.
Right. On Siren, which is very important.
He says that the girl he basically calls the girl fat, but it's like, I swear she is the doppelganger on Siren, wanna see, and shows this girl, this cam girl, and Rishi's like, "Oh," and then he asks to see it again and watches him put in his password. And I thought that this was where Rishi's addiction was gonna take over. I thought he was going in well, first I thought it was Sweet Pea and that he was going to delete,
Thought it was Sweet Pea too.
but I said that's too much like right. That's too much like right. But then I realized I saw what he was doing. He was going through Jamie's email. Jamie is a speechwriter for Bevan, and Rishi finds this speech about basically this online safety bill. And they're trying to figure out if Siren is going to be able to be shorted. So basically, this all works for the good of dun, 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 Parker. I did think this scene was really interesting because there were a lot of things at play. There was like this weird gender dynamic. Rishi, as he's kind of digging for information to feed to Harper, the girl asks him, like, don't I know you from somewhere? Where do I know you from? Like, where
Mhm.
do you work? She keeps
Where
asking,
do you work?
where do you work?
Yeah.
Where do you work? And he keeps deflecting. But at one point he says, there's thousands of me in London or something. There's thousands of me here.
Hmm.
There's a lot.
Crackhead. I know
Indians.
what you I know what you're
Weep that.
saying.
Weep that. Um, but I was gonna say I like the way the industry talks about race because I feel like it's so real. And I
Yeah.
like when the raced characters like kinda use it to their advantage a little bit or like use it to play the game, which we will see happen with Harper.
Yeah.
Get to. But
Completely.
so yeah, so he finds the speech for the safety bill, reports it to Harper. You have Rishi's Harper's bitch written down.
I do. I do because we see what that dynamic is like, and I'm not quite sure this. You know, maybe somebody could tell us, but it seems that Harper paid for his hospitalization because she was next of kin.
Yes. So Rishi gives Harper this information, and Harper is like, okay, like I know the short play. And it's like, oh, by the way, well, so before that, actually, Rishi is kind of like, so I'm giving you this information. I can't pass any background checks. Harper says, without an economic function, society buries you before you're dead. So then Rishi goes on to say, like, I didn't actually try to do anything. So we're understanding that Rishi made an attempt
Yep.
and somehow wrote down Harper as his emergency contact, his next.
Which is like, huh?
You might as well stay dead.
But she did pay it.
She did pay it, which made me think about how she's constantly Harper's like the true anti-hero in the sense of like she does one good thing, but then does like five bad things.
Yeah. But also doesn't do the good thing with goodness in her heart because she knew he would be indebted to her.
Rishi is completely 100% in the palm of Harper's hand.
Yeah.
But I
Like,
also feel like she's indebted to Eric in that same way because
yeah.
just a season ago, she was in that same position.
Yep. Nope. I also thought it was cunty with this last scene. Harper Jean is smoking those cigarettes down. She smoked it. She was smoking it very cute, very sassy. It was a very sassy smoke, just adding to the character development of her as being like she's more edgy now. She's more
He's 30.
on the margins. She's dirty. She's dirty. Her
No,
fingertips
she's
are
30.
tinged. Oh, but she is a little dirty too.
Both.
30-30.
30,
We might
30.
need to come back to that. But also, she's sort of morphing into I cannot remember the character's name, but the character that, lightly assaulted her in season 1, the
Nicole.
woman,
Nicole.
Nicole. Yeah, like, she's sort of merging
Mhm.
into this sort of shady, crass figure as well.
I wrote, interesting seeing her pay it forward, trying to build up karma, goodwill.
Goodwill? 'Cause what?
Again, more rhetorical devices on my part because this is, I don't think this is motivated by goodwill.
No,
Literally,
no,
when she
yeah.
had sex with him, she said, or he said, gotta get the poison out. Like
Yeah, like, ew. In the stall during the Christmas party, right? Like,
during
oh no, his engagement
his
party.
engagement party. Yeah.
We'll get back to Harper Jean and her sex addiction in a
Yeah.
second.
Okay, so we're back at the Tinder office. This scene was hilarious. We're back at the Tinder office, and Jonah is being pitched a new version of Tinder.
Yeah.
They show this ad has all these like functions and stuff, and the first thing he says was a lot of Asians in that.
How the Asians in there, huh?
He said, I mean,
What's
it's
that
not
about?
necessarily a bad thing, but is this what you wanted to show me? And so in this scene, they're talking about basically what they want to turn Tinder into, which is like the everything app. And Jonah's like, this makes no sense. We're abandoning our original business model. Like, basically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He brings up alternative merchants. So that's when we really understand that they are essentially a platform for the untouchables. Like, they're letting anybody through, kind of like X.
Yep.
Um,
Like X.
kind of like
And very clearly, like the we get the episode title in the script. They are the PayPal of
PayPal
Bukkake.
Sake.
To which he also shouts out that there's a lot of black on black porn, but he's not a. He says it. This is said, I think, 2 times.
Uh-huh.
This episode. But Jonah says that he's not a fetishist. This was also said by Eric Tao.
Yes. Which so is Whitney's disgusted by what is it called? Black gilf and
Yeah.
Ebony, it's like something crazy. It's like a
It's
crazy kind of
crazy violence.
Jonah Jonah, after he vapes in the office, says back to him, "Does it make me racist or anti or he tells,
Mm,
Whitney that that's his whatever Whitney just read, that's his favorite when he's hungover.
when he's hungover, yeah.
And he says, "Does
Yeah,
it make me racist or anti-racist that I can only get hard for black on black action?"
yeah, yeah,
And that's when we hear Ferdinand say, "Might as well be the PayPal of Bukake." And I wrote, "Take a shot," as the episode title was said. Um, so we figure out why they're trying to pivot, why Whitney is like it feels like Whitney is dragging he's Sisyphus. He's pushing his boulder up the hill. The
yeah,
boulder is Tinder because they had an unsuccessful IPO launch, which we saw with Lumi last season, which drove Henry to heroin, which we'll get to. But unsuccessful IPO launch. So Whitney is really wanting to like up the score. And Jonah is the incel of the pair, is what I wrote, because he wants
yeah,
to hold on to the alternative merchants, which account for 4% of their revenue.
yeah.
I'm not super into finance, but 4% feels like a tiny number.
That sounds like a really small percentage to me too, but the girls are playing with nickels and dimes, and the nickels and dimes are costing millions, so
Yeah.
I guess it's a big deal, but I felt the
Just
same
like
way. I was
we're
like,
freaking
"Okay,
out.
like, you're really crashing out, you're about to fire your best friend or whatever over 4%?"
We're
But
4% of Colonel Cream Pie.
like, be serious.
But then I
Be
also
serious.
wrote that there this is also where I see like this kind of raced power struggle
Mm,
because Whitney is the person like Jonah is the dirty, stinky Asian, Southeast Asian,
yeah.
like darker skinned man of the two.
Mhm.
Whitney's not white, but he's not
Whitney's
dark.
not white.
He
Yeah, but he can
like
pass
he
to an
can
extent.
he can blend in a little bit more, which is also why I feel like when Rishi's race stuff comes up is so interesting because I feel like in Britain the racism is like organic. It's like
Mhm.
farm to
It's
table.
pure.
That's like
Yeah,
the heart of the colony. So like
right.
it's authentic. And I feel like we have that, but it's like towards black people. So it's interesting to see it with other groups, especially with the kind of class link.
Yeah, the class history
Yeah.
and the history of subjugation among Indians too, right? Like they were enslaved by British people. Like that's why those people are there because like black folks, y'all enslaved them and brought them to like their
Mhm.
country's main dish is butter chicken.
Mhm. And
Be for real.
curry.
But yeah, that is
Curry
encouraged.
and chips.
Right. Yeah. But I also thought this scene was interesting too because you get we were hinting we got a hint of it in the beginning of the episode
It's
talking
more
about
and more
Haley and Haley in the uh the man the stalker jam the he's making it clear that hey some weird shit goes on in Tinder specifically with Whitney your assistant right Haley comes in she's taking the notes Haley sees everything that goes on Whitney knocks over a chair, slaps a chair down when Jonah is just not listening to him. And he goes, "Haley, chair."
Mhm.
Oh, I see the kick that you kind of are on. Cuz if you knocked it over, why wouldn't you just pick it up? It wasn't no big chair. It was a little small little plastic child chair. He could have picked that up in the amount of time it would have taken for him to say her name.
It made
So,
me think of 2 scenes. One was season 1 when Robert had that mentor on his he was on his desk, the older
mhm.
Scottish man, I think, that was like
Yeah.
that was crazy.
A freak and a heroin addict too.
Yes, it made me think of him when he would, like, straighten Robert's tie or, like, basically try to help him fit in because we see that, like well, we see later on that Whitney's, like, trying to warn Jonah. He's, like, doing these little corrective things to, like, warn him, but then he kind of comes undone when Jonah's out, so it's not
Behind the room.
if "You can't hold me accountable, I'm holding you accountable" type thing. And the other scene it reminded me of was in the Loomis offices in season 3 when, Robert and Henry were fighting,
Yeah.
and he asked his assistant in a much different tone for something, but he, like, got himself together, got the he put everything back together, and then he walked out versus, like,
Yeah.
Whitney called this girl in to pick his chair up, like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I mean, she says, "How'd it go?" And he says, "Not good." Then it cuts to the next scene.
Looks good.
So the next scene is Harper is staring pensively at the news. So this is where the online safety bill is coming up. And this is where she's starting to run the play. Um, I thought it was interesting that there wasn't a ton in this scene, but I thought it was interesting that it was kind of setting up the themes that I was mentioning of like free speech is under attack, social media is evil, or they're facilitators of evil. There's no accountability for those particular platforms. And then this like kind of protect the children refrain. And then we find out Harper officially is shorting Siren. And I wrote whatever that means. Because I don't exactly understand the play, but I know she's basically betting against Siren.
I'm not sure if it's, like, for that day, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Or, like, how long it's gonna go, and I think that's what the concern
Yes.
is, like, yeah, it's short today because it's the topic of the day, and,
Mhm.
like, yeah, we can make a nice return, but your investors wanna see that return day after
Mhm.
day
Mhm.
and that money constantly compounding. And her shorts are too short.
And they're taking massive losses on the account.
Yeah.
And I also just wrote that the perversion extends across sectors and industries because, again, I was paying attention to kind of the what the AOC was saying, what Harper was betting on, and just the tone, because I feel like everything in industry is one of those shows where everything matters.
Yeah.
There's, like, nothing is throwaway. So that's gonna be a hint later on. We're back at the Tinder offices, and, Whitney's on the phone with Yasmin.
Yeah. They're
I
friends.
I said, "Yasmin, honey, how do you know this MF?"
Why is Yasmin always in the vicinity of
Yasmin
creeps?
is always at the scene of the motherfucking crime.
Yeah. She's connected to a bad man at every single turn of her life, except for our
Every
dear friend
single
Rob.
every single time. Rob wasn't a good man, but he wasn't a bad man.
He was just a normal, average man,
He
which
was a
is
20-year-old man.
a neutral bad.
He was a yeah, yes, he was a neutral bad.
He's a neutral bad. He's what you expect from a twinkie white boy
Yeah,
that has a little money in his
too much
pocket.
money in his pocket. Um, while while Whitney's on the phone with Yasmin, Ferdinand busts in and is like, "We need to talk about our Jonah problem."
Big problem.
Said, "Oh hell."
Yeah.
This is where I wrote, "Is Whitney a good person?"
Mm.
Because he was defending Jonah. What do you think that was about?
He really wanted to keep it in house.
Yeah.
I don't think he wanted it to go that far. I think he really was like, I can fix him. I can save him. Like, I know how to get to him. let's not make it an embarrassment for him because this is part of his like, this is his idea.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's he's a stinky freak.
Stinky freak. While Whitney was on the phone with Yasmin, Yasmin was working on behalf of that damn man.
Mr. Henry Muck.
She was promising.
She was quite literally mucking it up.
She was literally mucking it up. That was some bullish. You need a symbols clash. You need.
No, what is that? I'm on
That was some bullish. She irritated because she was like so. Well, this is afterwards, but like, yeah, I could tell even on the phone, she had that like forced smile, like
yeah,
when she was talking to clients on the desk or something. Like this was very much a sale call.
yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, it's almost also like a verification that you're coming, right? Like you're coming, right? I'm gonna put you by this person. If that's okay. Like you're gonna be there. Like it's very desperate.
Yeah, she's like, I wrote she's
It's reading desperate.
bargaining on Henry's behalf. I'm like,
Mhm.
like that scene. I liked seeing how because up until now we don't really know why we're focusing on Tinder at all.
Right. Right. Like what is this company? Who are they? Like why are they so important this season?
Why do we keep having to listen to them talk about
Porn.
off and porn? This is annoying. Um, so then we get to the next scene. Oh, I did want to note that the last frame that we see of Whitney in the background, the
Mm,
news again is saying they turned a blind eye to exploitation. And he's like
yeah.
sitting back with his arms crossed behind his head and his leg crossed at his.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Like
"Yeah,
he's cooking something up.
evil villain pose."
He's cooking something up.
So then we cut to the next scene, and I think his first dish that he cooked up is ready. So he
Mm.
fired siren.
Fire siren.
So this is where we find
And
out that Siren is the company formerly known as Colonel Cream Pie.
Colonel Cream Pie. That's who they put all their money towards. Which I would be mad if I was siren too. Like y'all was with us back then. What happened? We have a contract. Like you knew what we were about, even more so. And we cleaned up our act because we got in trouble. We
Hmm.
got sued and we cleaned it up. And you're still cutting us off. And then, like they're saying, who the hell is Ferdinand? Where is Jonah?
We want to talk
Where is our fella freak?
exactly. I wrote about how the explicit sex language, like even the
Mm,
fact that the company was named Colonel Cream Pie, but then just all of the dialogue that we've heard up until now was reminding me of that Gooning article and how um like sexual terms have entered the lexicon
mm,
and they're kind of defanged in a way that I mean I'm sure is negative, but like how people will say raw dog or
raw dog. Yeah.
cracked or like just like the violent sexual
Yeah.
language that is entered and how in industry it's another like proxy for power. Like that's how we talk to each other, which is like not politically correct, but also how people in those circles speak. It's like
How
when
they speak to
Elon
each other.
Musk is like, "What's the worst thing that you could say to somebody? Grok, tell me it, and
Yeah.
it'll be funny." Like, it
Yeah, flame them for me. Flame them for me. Can you flame? Can you believe at dinner party it was the greatest? It was the greatest roast ever.
your favorite
Grok
segment.
did it. Like, okay, radio. Fuck.
Those so I also wrote for this scene, Whitney is so Mark Zuckerberger.
Yeah. He's Zuckerberging down.
He said
Like he doesn't care. He will cut the fat. If you're no use to him anymore, you're done. And people are kind of disposable almost, it seems. Even in just one episode, you can kind of you see again like how he treats Haley, what comes out about him. You're just like a person that's he doesn't care about other people.
But it's interesting that he's so loyal to a point with, Jonah, but everybody else, he's like, he could give a fuck, really.
Yeah. And then he gets there with Jonah all in one day.
Yeah. It literally
2
takes
days, I
4
guess.
hours. Um, then we get to Harper and Quabena, and I wrote, "So unnatural."
Yeah. Harper does not like no black man. Let's be for
No.
real.
Like, no.
They just
Because
need to
so
stop
now,
it.
Harper has hooked up with so many men, and only one of them was black. Cause she didn't have sex with the one that
DVD.
yeah, she that was just a, like, kiss,
Yeah.
and
The
the
other one was her homeboy from
I was gonna
college.
say the one black guy was her homeboy, her ex, or her old situationship.
Yeah. That just it really seemed like, like that back home boy that, he'll be around because all he doing is
Like,
smoking weed all day. Like, boop. That number can be dialed if you need to get cracked.
there you go.
Like, that's what that boy was. And even that was a little like, okay, Harper, this doesn't seem like your juice.
No. She should we go there on this scene
What?
about the pegging? Well, it comes
No,
back
it's
up.
not yet.
It
Eh,
comes back he
we
a
get a foreshadowing.
we get a foreshadowing.
Mhm.
Corbina says, "I'm not about to be penetrated for some cheap feminist statement because,
Mhm.
like, you want me to watch out for your ass?" And she's like, "Yes, like,
Yeah.
don't put it there."
Don't put it there. Don't put it in me. And then she asks, "Do you want me to put it in you?"
Yes, and he said, "No." And then he
And
kind of
he gets mad and rolls off like,
no, he was still up for a
"You're still
second
on?"
and brought up Sweet Pea. Like, he
Sweet
kinda
pea.
stopped,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Are you good?" And he was like, "Well, I feel like I upset Sweet Pea
Fuss
today."
with messed up sweet pea.
I said, "Bringing up Sweet Pea during sex? What?"
Yeah. I said weird sex talk nasty in my notes. I ain't like that.
No, but he does end
Like,
up
don't talk
saying
about sweet pea like this,
no, because
please.
he already had an infraction with Sweet Pea already with the OnlyFans comment or whatever he
Yeah, and talking about how he jacks off all the time or whatever.
yes, like, or he doesn't masturbate that much to it. I said the sexual harassment from the new black guy part.
Yeah, of course. Likely. Fatigue.
But he says she's not his type. Do you believe him?
No.
I wrote
He's a black man with money.
I wrote the race play is getting a bit much. I said
Yeah.
Conrad and Mickey are edgelords, but whoa. I know they talk like
Yeah.
that for real in Britain.
Yeah, especially Mickey. Or which one is black? Conrad.
Wait, is it which one's the black guy? We'll cut this.
I follow Conrad on Twitter. He's a black one.
Yeah, so I think like I would be interested to know how much no, Mickey's the black one. Conrad is
I've been bamboozled.
yes. I would be interested to know how much of themselves they write or don't write into the character, like how much of themselves is inspired by
Mm.
the characters at all. Because they worked in
Yeah, I
I
would be interested in that too.
so
Yeah, like these who's to say some of this isn't based on true story.
Exactly.
Gross.
But in the middle of all this, Harper gets a notification that the Lily Laura Family Fund is
Mhm.
taking money out of
Yeah, they're pulling their money.
Harper's fund. And she sends an email to gate the fund. Did you know what gating the fund meant?
No, but I just use context clues,
I looked
honestly.
it
It just
up.
seemed bad. It's like, oh, you're locking the investors from making any changes at all in
Yes,
order to protect your asset, your idea,
yes.
or shorts in this case
She doesn't want anybody playing with the money that she has put on the market on Siren.
on Siren.
Nobody's
Yeah.
people are not fucking with the Siren investment.
No.
So she sends this super crazy, wild email right after sex. She has Quibin to transcribe it. He's trying to stop her. She says, fuck you. Send it.
Right? Yeah,
Take
send
it.
it.
She says, take it down. Take it down. Which I thought was good British jargon. And she sends it. We don't know why Lily Laura is significant right then, but my interpretation at that point was Harper is calling a bluff.
Mm,
But I think it's that
interesting.
she doesn't I mean, retrospectively, she doesn't want people
Yeah.
calling her bluff.
Yeah. I was thinking that it was Yasmin's family because I thought her name had a Lily in it.
Her broke ass. They don't have no
Yeah, so I was like, "What?" Of course they're taking their money out. Why is she so mad?
money.
But yeah, that
Yasmin
the
broke.
Yasmin is broke. She literally had to sell herself.
She had to muck it up.
She had to muck it up.
uh, okay, so Harper sends this crazy email. Then we cut to her next day in the office. Ashford is storming, charging at her. And let me just
Charging.
pause here and say, as a young black woman in the workplace, a young black woman, period, if I see a 6 foot something white man charging towards me, you better hope I don't have a tranquilizer in my hand. You're going to
First of all,
like
she's good for
harass
not screaming.
she down.
Been in there screaming down. Like,
Harper was
what?
like a stone that could not be moved.
Yeah, she was I don't know if you ever seen that gif of Kobe Bryant when Meta World Peace pump fakes the ball in his face and he just stands still. That was that big white bull rushing towards her with fumes hanging coming out. That man was drooling mad, like
Harper said, "You see my hands? Do they look like they sticking to you?"
at all.
Ashford screams, "Why am I always going into business with fucking arsonists?" And
Arsonist.
the way he screamed that was like, when when you get so mad that like you can't, you like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Oh,
don't act like that no more, but I used to.
we used to have a lot of rage pent up inside of us. So I know that scream all too well. He
I
was
know that script too.
yelling. It was so raw. That's what I love about industry. Industry is just so raw.
Yeah.
So raw. Um, why am I always going into business with fucking arsonists? So Ashford is playing with Harper again, which is interesting because people always come back to Harper.
Everybody comes back to Harper because her plays do be good when she's on a good streak.
Hmm.
And when she can kind of play by her own rules.
Yes. So Ashford is fucking pissed at this decision Harper made to gate his fund, to gate
Mhm.
everyone's fund. Apparently, gating your fund is like a big no-no, because it signals to investors like no confidence. You're bearish. Market
Yeah,
bearish.
you playing scared.
You're playing scared, so they don't want their money nowhere around that because they already know they gambling.
Yeah.
And Ashford, this is Ashford's like third time basically on this roller coaster. So
Yeah.
fool me
Like,
three
you
times,
know what you get with
bust
Harper.
the chopper, let it rain on you. Okay, because that's your fault.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to his ass too.
It was very when he walked in, it was very Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Yeah, it was given drama. It was given Tyler Perry play after church.
Yes.
Forms in. And I thought it was interesting too. I don't know if you're about to hit this of him being like, you don't even know what your boss is doing. Like he's making a commitment to the king right now, and all these people. You're not gonna be able to do these type of shorts with him no more. He's in with all the people that you're short. Like he's not trying to mess up his political allegiance now that he's with the Tories, right? I think they're the Tories.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that side of the market. These type of plays are just not gonna work. That's why you're being short leashed
And
because you're
Harper
hurting cousins and friends and families, which he gets into.
Harper is like we know Harper well enough to see the twinge of fear in her eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, oh
Very
shit.
small, but she definitely said, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
But he's yelling at her, and she says, "If you're gonna have a fucking stroke, please do it outside of my office."
Yeah.
After he starts telling her he's gonna get this redemption letter and basically he's gonna undo everything that her ass just did and calls her sesquipedalian. Sesquipedalian.
Say it for me, cause you know I can't say it.
Edit this out. Sesquipedalian.
It's a squippadalian. You saying it like him. Yeah, that's exactly what he
This is
said. He was
exactly how
stuttering over
he
it.
this is exactly how he did, except I'm not having a stroke, but he was having a stroke.
Yeah.
But Harper says, "If you're gonna have a fucking stroke, please do it outside of my office." And she turns her back to him,
Uh-huh.
and then he falls through and shatters her glass desk.
Straight through it. And
And
she
she's
says, well,
like,
this is inconvenient.
"So this is very inconvenient." And
And
then
then we
also Corbina throws in what's the opposite of a runner's high?
no, he went full Tony Soprano.
Yeah, no, he definitely had a Tony Soprano moment. Rest in peace. Um, it was amazing. It was such a great nod. And it also just showed like Harper is too ruthless. I also like
Yeah.
how she refuses to like let herself be shaken in work environments, even though it's very
It was a moment to be shaken up
moment to be
from.
shaken up. It was.
But also in their back and forth before he strokes out, she says something like, "What? I didn't fuck you good enough," or something like that. And I was like,
Yeah, she said
Harper gotta stop fucking the clients."
she said, "Is this all because you couldn't make me come?"
Yeah, there it is.
Like,
Come on, Harper Jean.
ugh. It gets to a point. That's what I'm
It gets to a point like you really selling it,
It's like you're working with these people.
right?
You're really selling it.
You really selling it, like you really are. You and Sweet Pea, I see why y'all work well
Y'all
together.
selling it. Which is like, that's fine, but also like, I feel like if you're working with someone and the job is not to sell it, selling it is like not
Why are you having to sell it for them to keep it sticking around?
yeah. Mind you, you're an investment banker, so you're making money. We already talked about Harper's coat, but like all of her looks at this point have been great.
Yeah,
We see her
yeah.
apartment later on. Her apartment is nice. Like, bitch, you have money. You do not
You have real money. You don't have to do this.
That's his power me. It makes Harper feel powerful.
Yeah,
She likes to serve
yep.
him. So then we get to the Otto Harper confrontation, and her Otto basically lays out like, "You're not about to play my friends." Like,
At all.
nobody wins when the family feuds, is what he said.
Yeah, specifically, she was trying to short public utilities. She's like, "Harper, you are being relaxed."
Yeah, he was like, "I don't give a fuck about Siren."
No, he
More
says,
about
"Wanking
damn
wanking is utilitarian." That's what he
utilitarian.
says.
It's a public good, boo.
It's a public good. Stop trying to do that.
I wrote Otto speaking to Harper mad crazy.
Yeah, mad crazy. He makes it where he really puts her in her place. He puts her back in a subordinate role, even going as far as saying you're gonna have quarter on quarter management like everybody else now. Like you you're done. Like you're back to being we're gonna see how you do on your next performance review. And it's like, whoa, we haven't worked on that type of time.
Yeah. He said, "I hired you as a face."
Yep.
And
This is not based on merit because she was trying to be like, I'm good at my job.
"You hired me based
I'm,
on merit."
yeah. She said, now I hired you as a face. You're a moistened asset. I said, baby, he called you a slave. He said, you're his
"Your
property.
slave is behind you."
Like, your face is, you are Aunt Jemima to
Yeah.
him.
She
That
s
sucks.
she said, "You wanted to hire a puppet in blackface so that you can continue being a crook."
Mm. He says, a crook anointed by a king.
Mm.
Hmm.
I said, "Is this fucking play about us?" And then I wrote New World Order.
I did too. I said Brave New World. I also said woke shit doesn't work. I put in all caps, oh shit.
He
Cause
said,
it's like it's a real wake up call, I think, for Miss
Harper for
Harper
sure.
Stern.
Harper for sure, because up till this point, so we've seen Harper's journey through Peer Point as like a new grad, as like a fully fledged trader on the desk, like you're
Yeah.
doing all this stuff, you're advancing in your career, and you get smacked down because you don't have no transcript. Then you start your own project with this other woman that you sell out for this guy. Now
Yep.
you're managing
Sell
a
out bad. And they really could have done some they really could have shook the tables, I feel like. But she doesn't want that. She wants the power. She wants to be like Otto with the king's fur on. She wants the
She wants to be part
regalia.
of the
That's
reward
what she
for it.
wants.
She's greedy.
She wants to
Harper's
be
greedy.
a white man.
She's greedy. She wants to have it all in the way of like she literally wants to acquire it all, like in a colonizer way. She's a capitalist until she
She's
dies.
a capitalist and she really wants to be, again, I think, like, she wants all of what white men get.
Yeah, she
She
wants
wants it all. She wants the promiscuous.
promiscuity. Oh, boo.
She wants that. Yeah, they don't have boo. They're so lame for that. They that's what she wants. And it's like, again, no, you're black, you can't have this. Is basically what Otto says. And you need to listen and accept these big crumbs. There ain't no little ones
Mhm.
that I'm giving you to just shut up and do your little job. But she wants more.
He lets her know that he even called uh insubordinate retarded.
Yeah. And he's gonna do it again tomorrow.
He said, "And you know what? I might do it again tomorrow." I wrote R word mention.
Our word mentioned.
I said, "We will move on from institutional racism after the break from the motel." I'm like, "Damn," it's like that was tough. That scene was I was like,
Yeah.
"Har
That made me feel weird.
don't make that face." No, that was personal. That was like how if like all of this, if I haven't said this up until now, like working where I worked is not the same thing, but it was like the same type of intensity. over
Yeah.
nothing, mind you. Like, we were not dealing with millions of dollars. Like, I can kinda understand the pressure here, even though they're making this shit up, clearly. Um, but it was, like, intense like that, and I feel like people would speak to me in that way, but in a nice, nasty way, which to me is worse. I would rather you be cutting. Like, I would rather you
Yeah,
just
just be blank about it. Be this frank
mhm.
about what you're saying. Yeah,
Otto didn't mince words at all.
at all.
Next scene, we get Mr. Tao. Eric's back.
Eric returns and he comes in looking sharp. He's on his Tiger Woods. He has his hat to the back. He looks like he could be in a Tyler the Creator golf ad. Just fly.
Girl, boo. I said he had when he talks to Harper, I said, Eric schooling Harper in an Eric Benet rap.
He's
I
on his
yeah.
Tiger Woods.
He was speaking of Tiger Woods, so this scene is like where
Speaking of Tiger Woods.
Eric is with his homeboys. So Eric is golfing with Trump in the distance with his homeboys.
Yep, he's in Mar-a-Lago.
He's at Mar-a-Lago. We see a Trump figure from the distance. I
Mhm.
thought it's hilarious.
Me
Eric
too.
is
Fat, white, with a
single.
red hat.
He's in his waiting to exhale moment. He's
Mhm.
divorced. He's golfing. He's retired. He got a healthy severance from Pure Point.
Pure point.
It seems like he maybe did something in between, but like is officially retired now.
Yeah.
This is funny though. In the background, they said talking about Trump as they were painting to Trump. I heard he loves playing with Tiger because it makes him feel like a civil rights leader.
Right. Right.
But what you need to know is Eric is trying to go his friends wanna go to the Palm. Eric's like, "We always stay there. Can we go somewhere else?" So we see Eric is like Eric's bored.
Yeah.
He's bored.
Yeah. Retirement is not glamorous. He wants to work.
He wants to work, but I don't know why he's bored when in the next scene, Eric is doing a crossword puzzle in his Eric Benet wrap, in his T-shirt and shorts, and his Young Hot Ebony.
Young Caught Ebony's and two others in the background in the hot tub.
So he's running a harem. He is a
Mhm.
brothel of black women.
I think this is just another nod to if this is Mar-a-Lago, what is happening at Mar-a-Lago?
Well, you think this is Epstein Island?
No, I think this is just what Mar-a-Lago is. Mar-a-Lago is
Black
just
people in Mar-a-Lago, though?
if they're prostitutes,
I don't think they black, though. I feel like they still not letting black people down here.
they absolutely letting black people down there. He can do whatever he want in his little hut. Just know it's some promiscuous play for play
Here.
going on. And yeah, he had him a big booty black girl, a BB Dubs.
He receives a call from Harper while doing the crossword puzzle, and the clue that he reads to Harper on the phone is, "He who makes a beast of himself gets rid of the pain of being a man." Author, which I looked it up, the author's like Steven Johnson, but I thought the quote was really interesting because when I looked it up, apparently in whatever this was written in, I couldn't tell if it was like a book or a poem or like a short story. Um, it was kind of alcohol was involved in the context. So like the men were overindulging basically in alcohol, and so they were becoming beasts. And they were, essentially blacking out to numb the pain. And I thought it was interesting, but when Eric read it, it made me think of like when you become like they are truly beasts.
Beasts. Yeah.
Like they are beasts morally. And like
Yeah.
there were some
All for money too.
yeah, it's like very dark, motivated, um, it's really evil and dark-sided.
Yeah, it's really evil.
But I think more people are evil than they want to admit.
Yeah,
I think that
especially
this
in the pursuit of what they want.
yeah, I think the finance industry is like that's a norm, that's expected, so they have no issue with, like, showing how evil they are to each other. But in general, I think, like, obviously, it's not good to be evil, so
Yeah.
it doesn't work. Um, I wrote about wait, so Harper is talking to Eric, and she confronts him about taking money out of her account. So this is where we find out that Eric is tied to Lily Laura. I
Yeah, those his daughter's names.
hate that name together as a foundation name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lar. Just, little fun with your kid's name and little
Eric does
college money,
everything. We'll get to this in the later on.
last scenes, yeah.
He does everything but take care of his damn kids.
And he don't want no kids, I don't feel like he ever wanted them.
No, people need to be more honest about that. Um, and he basically was like, "You jumped the gun. You did too much. You overreacted." He said it was aggressive. The email sounded aggressive, and she said, "Oh, like the angry black woman? Really? It read like that?" And he said, "You are an angry black."
Yeah, 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 Harper. Duh, what are you talking about?
I was tripping because literally me.
Yeah.
And then she
You
said,
also learned that he's not the one that's running the fund.
"Yes." So she felt like an
It's Dylan, which I feel like we will find out more about Dylan. That's a random name drop that I feel like we'll circle back to.
mhm. Our Harper had egg on her face when she realized she kind of put her career in flames for Eric again, and it wasn't even Eric this time. So she
Yeah.
was ready to blame somebody and had no one to blame but herself. She
Mhm.
said, "Otto killed my vision."
Mhm.
And Eric says something about the blame there, and I
Mhm.
think it's just really interesting how she's, like, passing off these father figures or, like,
Yep.
male domineering male figures, and we have not heard anything about Harper's dad.
We've never heard anything about her dad,
Not a
so
single thing.
hate that. Yeah, he says you all it's interesting that you always have a prepackaged person to blame.
Yes, which is true.
Yeah,
And I
she
think
always blames someone. She rarely blames herself.
Harper is autistic in the way of he does not want to be in trouble. She's
Yeah,
so scared of being in trouble.
but she always does bad shit.
She's always doing bad shit, and it's always she's not thinking of anyone's feelings,
Yeah.
not even hers. So it's interesting. As she's on the phone trying to be vulnerable with Eric, his one of his paid black girlfriends says something about the food or something.
Mhm.
And Harper is like taken aback. And I noticed here, I feel like people are not talking about the sexual tension between them. And I mean that in a negative way. I think it's inappropriate.
Yeah, I wish there was a boo
I
on
didn't
here so
write
I could
this
boo
in
that.
this scene, but in the next scene, I said the tension is inappropriate. 'Cause
Yeah, it's gross.
it's very much like, and the reason why I say that it's tension is because Eric looks at Harper as like the ultimate fountain of youth or validation
Yeah,
of his youth. And
yeah.
like with the whole sex is power thing, I think he cares about her, and I don't think that he's necessarily, like, sexually attracted to her or, like, it would be a relationship type of thing. It's more like a
He
little
wants her power.
feel your voice, like
Yeah.
Ursula type of thing, and I think the only way he's thinking to do it because, like, his youth is associated with his job and sex, like,
Mhm.
I think it's starting to teeter that line.
Yeah, I can see that. It also is a reminder that he tried to get Yas
Yes.
to have sex with him.
Yes.
And as soon as she left, he, like, pleasures himself in the bathroom stall.
Yes, that was weird.
And it's just like after also trying to get at her money, get at her power, get at the little bit of access that she kinda had left.
And so
And,
to
so
me,
he's constantly searching for that.
yes,
And that's why I think he's also so bored with just, these paid conquests at this paid old man club.
if you'll do that, if that's how you react after Yasmin, I can only imagine what you're doing after you and Harper's conversations when you're not about to stroke out.
Yeah,
Um, I said Harper knows exactly how to deflate Eric, and I said me
yeah.
instead. Only thing we relate to. So that was a weird scene. I wrote so erotic, so that was why I wrote that, but we'll see. We'll see if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I'm a grown woman and I can admit when I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. I think it's going in a perverted direction because I think perversion is a theme over the season.
Yeah.
And also I think he's still jealous that Jesse Bloom called Harper his kid on TV.
I always forget about that.
I'm
That
texting
is
my
very
kid.
foundational.
Yes, and Eric's like, "What the fuck? That's my ball." Okay, so next scene, we're back with Jonah and Whitney. They're at dinner. I said I love how fully realized Jonah's character is. So this is where I was really into the archetype being played. He was just so breezy at dinner.
Yeah, it was nasty, talking about the TikTokers that I come into the table, the dysmorphic TikTokers, the can't stay on Whitney's trying to have a serious conversation, and he just every time turns it into something very sick and disturbing and disgusting and just very bottom of the barrel,
Which Ferdinand
nasty.
said when he brought up the Jonah problem. He said, "This is a serious company and he's an unserious person."
He's an unserious person.
And he also, even when Jonah wanted to talk about business, since Whitney was talking about business, he said, "I want to get rid of the crowd," talking about Ferdinand. And Jonah was, Whitney was like, "He's Austrian."
Yeah.
And he also ends up saying, I think he gets really serious with Whitney once he realizes, like, oh, he's not going to drop this. He said, we can never be a bank. That's not our story. And I think when he said that, I wrote, Whitney has made a decision.
Yeah, I said Whitney's killing Jonah for sure.
Yes.
Like, he's definitely cutting him out, like,
Mhm.
you're not no.
He said, I don't think you should come in hungover tomorrow. And then he said, Wit, I don't have anything to go home to. I said, ooh, ouch.
Ouch.
And then,
But neither does Whitney, right?
yeah. And then Whitney, as he's leaving, says, I love you, right? I'm like, ooh, kiss of
Yep.
death.
That's a kiss of death.
I said the loneliness is palpable.
Yeah, how he's just sitting there salt over nasty man, waiting for whomever's
And when he
coming.
said, I have nothing to go home to, I was like, that feels real. And it's also very reminiscent of that other guy getting kicked out of Facebook when it first started. Mark Zuckerberg's business partner.
I actually never watched that
It's
movie.
actually really
I do
good.
I heard, but, like, I really don't care.
It's not about it's not the Facebook story. It's more
Yeah, but, like, the interminglings.
no, it's more of like it's more of the psychological thriller, like just how he was like kinda a little bit neurotic. It's more of that. It's not about the triumphant Facebook, this is how we got it off the ground. Because Mark Zuckerberg didn't even like how he was
Yeah,
portrayed.
do anything with it. Yeah,
No,
very
no,
Elon
he
of
didn't
him.
like how he was portrayed. He thought it was
Oh,
more of a biopic, but it's not. It's actually I think you would like it.
maybe
Um,
one day.
So the next scene, Whitney leaves Jonah to go to Yasmin's party. I said link up at Yasmin's function. Harper looks fab.
Of always, she's very cute this entire
Looks
first
so
episode.
good in this dress and with her braids down, the dark makeup look. I said Whitney Link, not fab.
Not fab at all.
Enter Yaz. Yaz looks sickening.
She does.
She's a power bust down. I love her look. She looks
She's
very
looking very
wifey.
mature.
She looks
Yeah,
mature. She's very
mm,
mature.
very mature.
She looks
She's
wifely,
giving
stately.
she's trying to play a role.
Yes, she's trying to adapt. She's being very Erica Kirk, like very.
She's being way too demure to be Erica Kirk. Erica Kirk would have walked out with sparklers on her
Ah,
titties.
Yasmin.
She's
But Yasmin is in the old money world. She's the Erica
yeah,
Kirk of London because
yeah,
like Yasmin knows the social code. That's always been the like point of contention with her and Harper. It's like Yasmin knows ball. She may
yeah,
not know what's going on intellectually, but she knows the social dynamics enough because she's been in them and she's been like a victim in those situations. And I feel like when you
yeah,
are the person not in power in those situations, that's not something you forget.
yeah, and you start to learn how to make the plays to make yourself,
Exactly.
um, yeah,
So Yaz is forcing we have um this little back and forth with Harper and Whitney, but Whitney's really there to talk with Bevan, which is our AOC character. And Yaz has kind of power brokered this meeting to kind of get her way, to get help Whitney get his way, to help Bevan get her way.
yeah,
And I wrote she's forcing Henry again. Sigh.
yeah.
Uh
And it's really interesting when she says it too. Like she's like, "We love a champion in government and press," and like she's just really pushing the again. Our girl is what mucking it up.
mucking it up. Which is it's so crazy because we just came from a season where Yasmin was breaking people's cameras if they tried to take a picture of her, which they were paparazzi, so they deserve to have their cameras broken, but
Yeah,
ran
and it was at her father's death.
bus. She ran off of a bus when someone was taking a picture of her on the bus on their phone, like, dropped her chocolates and expensive wine and ran. I'm like, "Sister, is it that serious?" But now she's right back in the public eye, making deals, making money moves. We'll see. I
Yeah,
don't know. Do
she's
you think
full socialite
full
mode.
socialite? I do think
Full
Yaz is a better socialite than she is working in finance, obviously, but do you think that she's gonna be good at this job?
so because she just has those deep connections. She like you said, she knows that world like the back of her hand. And like you said again, like the victim aspect of it really plays the part. She wants to be on top too. She wants to be on top and she'll do anything in the same, but she's not good at the other side of the game. She's just truly not fast enough. She doesn't pick up when she's getting fucked,
Yeah.
which is like the problem with honestly the story of her life. She can't see it with her dad. She can't see it with her mom. She can't see it with Henry. She can't see it with any other character until it's too late. She never can see it with Harper. And Harper makes it pretty clear a lot of times what she's doing. And it's like you can never she never sees the play, but she can bring all the characters together.
It's like, I don't wanna call her stupid, but
Yeah. But sometimes
sometimes that's just the word you have to use. So then we cut to Harper and Whitney having a cig outside of the function. And basically, Whitney's like, "Wanna come home with me?" And Harper says, "Didn't we decide that a long time ago?" And Haley appears. She's off in the corner, I guess waiting on a car. And I kind of get the feeling that she's also not good at her job. Either she's not good at her job or Whitney is a crazy boss, which I can believe both.
I think he's just really crazy.
Mm. She brings up that oh, I wrote Whitney all of a sudden has to go to Ghana before he fucks Harper? Question mark.
Yeah, he's going to Africa. So that made me think.
Hmm. Ooh,
That made me think, is that just his term for black women?
okay, so I had that original thought, but then
That's what I put in my note.
that's literally what I thought. But then he brought up that he specifically is going to Ghana for whatever this investment is, whatever this secret is that Jonah was like, "You got us going to Africa," calling it the new global
It's
center.
true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, that's truly where his
But
company
is this a double entendre?
I do feel like it's a bit of a double entendre to let his assistant know, "I'm about to be otherwise occupied, and I
All of
go
him.
to Africa."
All of him. Dos.
But she brings up that at a party, which this is what made me think that she's not good at her job. She's
Yeah,
like,
she's a
"Hey,
little.
the girl that I replaced reached out looking for a reference." And he says, "Oh, like, glad to see she's up and running."
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
It
That's exactly what Haley said.
She was like, "Wait, what happened?" And he comes up with this story that she had Crohn's disease.
Like what? That's like everybody getting Lyme disease in LA. Like, okay, ED? Or what did you do?
What
Heroin
what does
addiction?
that mean? Yeah, are you in rehab? But then when I thought Crohn's, going back to Ghana being a term for having sex with black women, I'm like, Crohn's, does he really mean like she was into scat or something and was in Dubai? Like that
Oh.
kind of thing.
Oh. I don't know about that.
Too far? Bleep that.
Yuck.
Not that.
Maybe.
But I thought it was like I thought it was coded in some way.
Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, yeah, it's probably code for he tried to have her killed or pushed her off a building or something. It's like
Yeah, for
he
sure
seems
that
really crazy.
he does. He has evil eyes.
Yeah.
So they get in the car after all this. Cut to next scene. I put WGFT by Gunna.
Yeah. I said Harper effing for the place.
We see Harper taking it.
Hard.
She's taking
She getting knocked off the bed. Mind you, Harper is 2 apples tall.
she's taking it. Um, and then there's an after bed scene where Whitney is looking at her and it's like, "Did you enjoy the way I fucked you?" Harper doesn't really say anything. And he's like, "Wanna return the favor." That's it.
IJBOL. As soon as he said it, I said, "I know where this is going."
But I
Ooh,
knew where this was
ooh,
going in the
ooh.
last
Get the strap. Get the get the get the strap. Hey, get it, get the strap. Hey.
get the strap, get the strap, get the strap, get the strap. I knew that that was gonna come back up with the Quabena scene.
Yeah.
I knew that was gonna
Yeah.
come back up. The shot of Harper on her knees, naked in a white man's closet was chilling. It was, like, truly
Whoa. We're going too far, sister.
it was
Stand up.
it was like, I needed you to stand up.
I need you to stand up right now,
But
actually.
when she did stand up, when she emerged with the strap on,
Cunty. Honestly. That's what I have to
said
say about it.
I said Harper dick swinging, poetic.
Poetic.
But then I
That's all.
also wrote, "Why does Whitney have a BBC?"
And it's huge.
It's
I
huge.
said I said massive strap on. LMFAO. 2 big
He
exclamation
has a
points.
huge, big black cock,
It is huge. It's at least 9 inches.
and it's
Whoa.
girthy, it's big.
It's girthy, it's big. I said, "That first strap is powerful." She was looking at herself, stroking it powerfully.
She literally was that meme of, like, "If I had a penis for a day,
What would I do?
what would
So,
you do?"
someone said on Twitter, at fuck Bet Porter, says Harper in a strap as a metaphor for the power and control she strives to wield, but also other things. The show that keeps on giving.
Yes, literally. And there was another one, I'll have to find it to quote it exactly. It was like Harper realizing things about her sexuality, real.
I have multiple LMAOs.
No, that
I have
scene was
multiple
crazy.
exclamation points. I was expecting it, but I thought they were just gonna show it and then move on.
Which
My girl buck naked with the strap on, stroking it. Whoa.
at at IMIFAES said Harper just realized some things about her gender. Hashtag real.
Real.
I feel like it was interesting because I too thought they were gonna move on from that, but the way that they showed it, well, because it's also the thing of, like, we don't need to see him being pegged to know the, like, power dynamic of it all,
Yeah.
and it was more interesting to just see her standing in front of the mirror admiring herself with a dick, but it's because she wants to be a white man.
Exactly, thank you. You literally took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, "She's finally the man that she's wanting to be." Like, she's finally getting that gendered power that she never, I guess. I don't know, maybe she's done it before, but it seemed like my sister's first time
I don't think so.
that she's never going to experience,
Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
possibly.
No, I agree.
Because she was looking at herself very curiously, like, "Whoa."
Yeah. Um,
Fun scene.
that was an interesting scene. Next, we get the morning after. I said Harper's starting. She's starting. So James slash Jim calls Harper, and I said Harper is throwed off. Harper is like really she's getting caught off guard a lot in this first
Yeah,
episode. And it's very I can as a fellow fixed sign, I actually don't know Harper's sign. So I don't know what month this is set in, but as a fixed sign, when people throw you off, it's like it's really hard to recover. Harper has done a
yeah,
really good job of kind of building up her armor until now, so even when she is thrown off, it's like the audience know what we're looking for, but I think the people around her are not necessarily sensing it until
yeah.
it's too late, because at some point she does kind of boil over. She gets this call from James, and James basically says, like, "You're following the wrong money." And that he investigates financial crimes, fraud specifically, and he thinks the real culprit is dun 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 Tinder.
Tender.
So Harper realizes she just got herself in some shit again.
Yeah, yeah,
I said her short strategy is fucked, and so is Harper, literally
yes.
and figuratively.
Figuratively, and she's been doing so fucking. So,
So I
short
think that's
plays.
interesting. Whitney walks in, he catches her on the phone, and she plays it off. But do you think he knows?
He knows something happened because she is very shifty.
Yes.
She is being a little shifty, so it's like, like he said, "Is everything okay? Like, what just happened? Why are you being weird?" But a chill did run down her spine when he said
He was
Tinder.
scared.
She's a little scared because it's like, what does she know about Tinder? What made her key in on him. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like she was caught by surprise that he was there. It seemed like she knows who he is. It wasn't a first real meeting, and she was even flattered that he knew who she was in that initial scene. She's like, "Oh, you know who I am?"
Yes.
So it's like
Which was
she's a
that
little
was surprising. I couldn't tell if she was, like, how much of that was her being, like,
yeah,
flirty, coy Harper, or, like,
yeah,
was she
or actually taken aback.
yeah, because I do think she is having a little bit of, like, I wouldn't necessarily call it imposter syndrome because she does
Yeah,
go so far, but, like, there is a little bit of this, like, identity crisis or, like, this awareness that she's never fully in. Like, she's trying to get in and, like, she's trying to convince herself that it actually is because of her merit, which it is, like, this is not to say that she's not smart or talented, but in a way, like, unless you are born into it, especially in London and Britain, like, you definitely are always gonna be a face. Like, you're never gonna
yeah. You're never gonna be fully in whatever world. You're
Mhm.
never gonna be there.
So the next scene, business or pleasure, we see Eric's old ass. Eric and Harper
Waiting for her at her house?
at her house at the door.
At the door.
Like, "How did
Hmm.
you get this number?"
I'm wondering, are they that close? Have they been like retaining this sort of relationship?
This is why I think the tension is veering sexually. There's some undercurrent of, like, will they, won't they? And I think it's, like, especially this scene, the language was so charged. When he said, Harper says, "You came," and he
Mm.
said, "You called."
Called.
I was like,
She's a
"Okay."
call girl.
And then he also said, after she said business or pleasure when she first greeted him, he said he didn't do too well chasing pleasure.
Chasing pleasure. Yeah.
And then Harper, to break this, says, "How are your daughters?" And I
Yeah.
feel like anytime Harper wants to control the traffic, she brings up Eric's daughters.
Yeah. To almost put him back into a fatherly role with her.
Yes. Yes.
Like that's the role that she
Now you
wants
understand
for
why I'm
him to
getting, like,
make.
the
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
she knows and, like, she will manipulate it to a certain extent, but then she will be like, "How are your daughters?"
Yeah. My laptop's about to die. Give me 1 second. You can keep talking.
So Eric hates when Harper brings up his daughters, and I said, "I think it's because Harper breaks the fantasy when she does that," which is what you just said, but truly, I think it's like, it throws him off too, and I think it, like, levels the playing field for Harper. And I said this tension is inappropriate because I do think it's inappropriate. I
Do too. I'm not uh-oh. Okay. I'm not a big fan of whatever that is, and I really want them to keep it cordial.
yes.
Honestly, feel like I don't know. There might not be I don't know if there's too many men that wouldn't make it sexual in those positions. I feel like there is a constant need to re to make sure when you have men in power like that, that's like mentoring you almost,
Mhm,
you almost have to remind them of that. Cause they think cause you're probably smiling and laughing with them and
mhm,
they think that is flirty no
yeah,
matter what.
yeah,
And you have to be like, "Oh," literally like she does.
mhm,
"So, your daughters," which causes, Eric to completely pose,
yes,
freeze.
yes,
He literally was that one meme where she's just, like, frozen
yes,
in the courtroom,
yes.
like, jaw on the ground, like, "Yeah,
It
this
reminds me
isn't."
of when the Nicole situation happened to her, and she never really, like, she put distance between her and Nicole in, like, a professional way,
Yeah.
but I'm like, "Harper, you're blurring the lines of professionality, like,
Yeah.
in every other"
Because
not
what
to
did she do? You
yeah,
know, how she came on to Nicole like that in her child's play. Gonna put your knee on that lady's knee. Like, come on now.
yes,
She was my sister was desperate that episode.
yes.
But it just
So
shows you the depth at which she, she will go. She will go to hell if it means she can make some money.
yeah, um, and so then they start to talk about a partnership,
Mhm.
and she says, like, "Do you think" or Eric says, "Do you think we can do that? Do you think we can be that for each other?" Like, what the get the fuck on? Like, Eric's old ass it was like, this was nasty old man to
Yeah,
me. I don't know, Eric is giving
yeah,
nasty old man, and I wrote that Eric is so scared of aging,
yeah,
Harper triggers him. After last season, I was kinda off Eric because I'm like, "You're fucking gross." And in your, like, hot boy era or whatever is going on here, you're being nasty, and I don't like you literally are being a nasty nigga.
yeah. And he went to hell for real.
He did. And so Harper's, like, feeling this weird back and forth tension that they're having around this, like, business partnership, and she's like, "Eric, what's your angle here?" She says, "I can't be a punching bag for another man's fear."
Yeah, I like that line.
I like that line too. I said Harper is speaking to me a bit too much. Um, and I think that also softened Eric a bit, and he starts trying to get a little bit vulnerable with her, and that's the other thing, is like, if it's not nasty, it's too much. Like,
It's too much. Yeah.
save
He
it for
doesn't know how to
benefit.
toe the line. But even like back in season 1 with how he would talk to his wife,
Oh my god, calling her.
that's how he lost Ashford the first time. Like you're too he's almost like how Jonah is, just too
Yeah.
crass. Just too you doing too
He's like
much.
the
Nobody wants to hear
he's a
that.
different type of incel bro. Like, he's the upper echelon finance version.
Yeah, he's the 80s, 90s version
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
of what that looks like.
True misogynist. Period.
True misogynist to his bone.
Unless the woman is, like, equally as crass as him, then he will respect you.
Yeah,
But Eric says when you get to the end, all you've got is and Harper cuts him off and says money,
money. Yeah.
which I'm like, "Ooh, Harper, you must be a Capricorn, boo." Um, Harper wants the money, Eric wants the power. Word to Young Thug. Um, and I also wrote this is the worst father-daughter duo. Like, I've never felt worse
Ever.
about a father-daughter
Yeah.
scene than this.
Yeah. And I thought he was gonna say one last ride.
You did?
I did. I thought that's where he was gonna take it. I thought he was like really gonna be like, shit, let's do it. Which is
No,
what
like,
ultimately happens. But
I feel like he kind of was, like, gauging Harper's response. Like, is Harper
yeah.
gonna be excited about this? Is she nervous? Is she
Yeah.
like, they both are trying.
And that's why he was hesitating almost. He
Yeah,
never fully said it. Like he with one last like yeah.
and Harper says this line, "It's really funny that honest communication can feel like a fucking exorcism." I was like, "Ooh, I
Oof.
literally
That's
I know the
real, unfortunately.
I know the feeling."
I know the feeling. I know the feeling. That's very real.
Well, that scene happens. Harper gives the performance of a lifetime. Obviously, Harper and Eric are coming back to each other. I don't think that's gonna last. I think it's gonna
It's
go up in
not.
flames. 'Cause now
Yeah.
it's nasty, it's perverted. Like,
Imma add that to my investor sentiments.
I am.
That is
I'm gonna we can I'll say it again, but, like, it's perverted.
yeah.
Like, that theme for me was just so it was like, "This is sick."
It's sick, and it also is so sick because we know that all they do is undercut each other. They're backhanded to each other. They try to kill each other at every single season. What they're trying to kill each other to gain more power. All they do is they're literally crabs in a barrel, just going over and over and over each other. You can't. There's no partnership in that.
Right.
There's can never be partnership because Harper will just honestly doesn't want that from anybody. She just wants the money and the power, not partnership.
Ken Leung had a quote in his, I think it was GQ. Oh, it was, the rap. He said, let me see how you pronounce this before I say it on there. Cut this. Ouroboros? You know how to pronounce that?
What is that?
It's that, like, snake Ouroboros.
The one that's eating itself?
Ouroboros. Okay. Yeah, so Kim Jong had this quote in the rap, um, which was they did kind of like um a article about season 3, and they asked about him and Harper's relationship in the show. He says, "I don't see them ever ending. It's almost like an Ouroboros, the snake that eats its own tail. That's a metaphor of their relationship."
I could see that. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think this is gonna go.
But one of the whole problems with that metaphor, right, is that the snake can never go anywhere. The snake is stuck in one spot. There's no growth. There's no anything.
Even if it
He's
feels like
stuck.
it's growth, the growth is then just like eaten. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Our next to last scene is now Jonah's getting fired.
Yeah. He said, "I tried to spare you this indignity."
This was coming.
Yeah, we knew that was gonna be that was for industry's sake though. That was a pretty quick kill.
Extremely quick, but I don't think he's actually dead. I think
So
he's coming back.
yeah, he's coming around. He's here. He's here for sure. Cause that's a quick kill.
Yeah. Um, I wrote morality clause. They got his ass on the technicalities. So all those little Easter eggs, those corrections Whitney was giving, those friendly reprimands were actually just infractions by
Yeah.
HR that they were using to build a RICO against Jonah.
Yeah, like we literally had to get a candle because you're so stinky. And you even refused to light it.
You still wouldn't like it. I said, OMG, he sold his sister up the river.
Real quick.
But you can't work with or live with your friends.
We'll see how this
Yeah,
podcast
this
goes.
is not a job.
But I wrote this is a full Whitney takeover. This
Yeah.
is I'm here. You all are done. We're building something new, and
Yes.
Jonah's freaky self cannot be a part of it.
Jonah cannot be a part of it. They list all of Jonah's infractions, including a Magic City charge in Atlanta for $40,000. And
Man,
Whitney said he's a dirty Indian that stinks. Basically.
I'm cutting that.
You just bleep it instead. And I wrote here again though that I love that their types of racism are also the other types of racism are also being illustrated because I do think that there is a specific racism against Southeast Asians, particularly with what is said, like the smell or
Yeah.
um like well he was purported to be like just a dirty incel boy. So like that was a whole other thing. But his comments about black on black action
Yeah, it's just crass in the
in the
workplace.
workplace, all of that caught up to him really quickly, and I thought it was interesting how he was fired with cause, but then you also had to throw in that jab of, like, at the end of the day, you're still a Southeast Asian that doesn't belong here.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I wrote cold-blooded, true in versus out on display.
yeah.
Oh,
Real
and
killer.
also, as I was watching this, Jarvis texted DEI in response to me telling him about Tiana Taylor winning the Golden Globe for one battle after another last night.
Very random pull by the voters, but
Yes,
okay.
for sure. But I was also literally in that moment thinking about, like, how DEI was on display in the way of, like, it protected people that didn't know they were being protected, and in this kind of,
Mhm.
like, post DEI society at large, the
Yeah,
veil is being lifted and the
yeah,
rug is being pulled out from under many people's feet.
yeah. Yeah, you thought you was a powerful person until they make you realize where you stand.
At the end of this scene, Whitney says, "We're gonna be a bank killer." I said, "Good thing Pierpoint is already dead."
But are they gonna mess with them Egyptians? I know one thing, them Egyptians not gonna get their bank killed.
They don't even wanna go there.
They don't
They don't wanna go there. So our final scene, we're at Muck Manor. I actually don't know where we are. I can't tell where he is. Is he at home?
I don't know, cause it's like it's
It's like a
somewhere where
mall.
yeah, it was like a mall or like, over there they have like the show parts
Mhm,
of castles.
mhm,
That's where it seemed because it said do not touch.
mhm.
Like so it's like that's not your personal
Yeah,
thing. You're somewhere that visitors go to
mhm.
and you're being I put disgruntled misfortune trapped billionaire.
I say Yasmin's loser husband playing on an 18th century instrument. Sadly, we really don't
Sadly,
give a fuck. It's not a major holiday. And then I say getting high on heroin.
I said heroin user question mark. But honestly, I've never heard of heroin to be white. That looked like fentanyl.
It could be. But he was doing
And he is he tries different things. He likes those different, with the ayahuasca and the stuff like he will try it. So Fent is hot right now.
but he was also doing heroin because he
Previously.
told Robert that he did junk.
Yeah, that's true.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it's either. If you're doing fentanyl like that though, that's fucking crazy.
That's what they
Heroin
do
too, but you
sound.
already admitted to being a heroin user, so there's no surprise.
And that's it.
That's
That's how we
it.
close it out.
So the closing scene is shooting up. What a ride. I wrote like some themes. I wrote like some themes that are
Okay.
coming up and I think are gonna come up for the rest of the show, which we kind of talked about, but like race, obviously, race in the UK
Deeply
more
this season.
specifically,
Yeah.
EI and its impact on institutions. I didn't say this, but in the Eric scene where Harper asked about his daughters, that he didn't say anything back. And she was like, "Oh, so they're in boarding school. Like, you're the one that moved thousands of miles away. Like, they had to go to boarding school, that you weren't even there." And he
Yeah.
says, "I abdicate responsibility to the institution." I guess that's my problem. I abdicate responsibility. So I think a lot about institutions, DEI, obviously, the technocracy and accountability,
Mhm.
online privacy, ethics, safety, and the overlap or lack thereof into the real world. And then sex, casual sex in a post hookup culture society, and then like sex as a proxy to power.
Mm,
That's all my
I like
notes.
that. I think mine are sort of thinking about vices, and I like what you're saying with the institution aspect. I want to say even vices in the institution,
Mhm.
and one of which is how a lot of it, and this is going towards Whitney, a lot of institutions are getting their vices from Africa,
Yeah.
whether it's women, whether it's labor, whether it's drugs, whether it's gold, silver, there's a deep extraction that's going on, that is formalized within this one place that we see across cultures, right? And then that's also into what everybody is trying to gain some sort of fulfillment out of, some type of moneyed interest. Like, no, we don't know what the ALC character wants, but she wants something if she's at dinner with these people and Yasmin. Why else is she there? She all these different characters thinking about exploitation, um again, vices, whether it's the gambling, the porn, like, they're figuring out a way and trying to understand where they fit and how their vices can honestly make them more money. It's cool. I think that's
It's
like,
really
what does that look like, and how does that progress? Like, it's okay when you get, everybody's like, you can dabble in it, or like they say in the first sentence, it's not an addiction if you have money.
yes.
But sometimes these addictions it does get too big,
It
right?
truly is that
So,
money is the root of all evil situation happening.
yeah. Yeah. So my like final thoughts when I finished my quick notes at the end was just like it's definitely a different texture than last season. It feels different. It feels like a show that's grown up. It feels like HBO gave them the Netflix cameras because it is a little bit bright. It was giving Netflix bright a lot of times,
But they are
which I'm not
out.
used to.
They're out in the world.
They're out in the world. It's brighter. It's more it's moving in a way I wasn't used to, and I watched season 1. I didn't watch the others, but, like, I really watched season 1 to see if I saw a big difference, and it's like, yeah, y'all got a bag, and you see the show has grown up with the characters. Some scenes didn't feel as pure, but the stories are interesting, and I like how they combine them so early.
Mhm.
Like Yasmin and the Tinder guy and Harp, like we're seeing how all our actors are gonna mesh together. I thought that was quite interesting. And then my big question is, what the hell is Whitney's play?
I know.
What does he want? Does he want the world? Is he just like, is that what you mean by bank killer? Are you like a techno fascist? Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing in Africa?
What are you doing in Africa, and what are you doing with Yasmin's husband?
What do you want with Henry Muck? The
What the
multiple
muck is going
failed
on?
what the muck is going on? Why is he trying to muck it up with him?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I wasn't like blown out of my socks by this
No.
first episode,
It was fast,
but
though.
it was fast. I was like, it almost gave me too much.
It was a lot. But I do think all of
Um,
this is, like, you know how they do storytelling on Industry, like, we had to have this first episode.
yeah, and now we can pace it out.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was a lot. It jumped from storylines a lot, but
Yeah.
it didn't really feel disjointed. It felt with each scene, it was getting more and more clear, like, what was going on. Like, obviously, we have these questions because we're thinking with our season 4 brains, but, like,
Yeah.
that's just because we wanna know where this story is going. I think in general, though, it was really interesting to see how they explored the same themes and character dynamics outside of the office,
Yeah.
and in different offices and with different clients and, like, different configurations with the client,
Yeah.
Harper not having Eric as a shield at work. Um,
Yeah.
it was really interesting seeing how all of those things were coming together and just seeing, like, kind of the shadow that's being cast over the rest of the season. Are we doing current investor sentiments?
Yes. Okay. So with that, thoughts. So what we're gonna do, probably at the end of every episode, maybe we'll see how it goes, is do our current investor sentiments. So, an investor sentiment refers to the overall attitude of investors towards a particular market, often measured by weekly surveys. In short, it's the general mood of the investors on the market's future performance. So, we're going to provide what we think is a survey of, oh my gosh, I want to set our names.
You can bleep them.
It's a survey of investments in on our future plots and characters.
Mhm,
So we will provide our standings of characters or plots that we are bullish or bearish on, plots that seem the most volatile, and characters or plots that provide a safe haven for us during the chaos of the show.
mhm.
So let's start with who are you bullish or what are you bullish on and what are you bearish on?
I'm bullish on Sweet Pea. I wanna know what's
Okay.
going on with Sweet Pea this season. I'm rooting for her. She seems really smart. She seemed really smart at Pure Point. I'm wondering how she's fitting into Harper's scam, but I'm bullish on her. I also am gonna be bullish on I kinda feel like Sweet Pea's the only thing I'm bullish on. There's nothing else that I'm like, "This is a good thing that should be happening."
I think I'm bullish on I know it's not I know it's opposite of what you gonna say. I'm bullish on Stern Town.
Because you're a
I just
sick
talked
bastard.
talked so much shit about them, but I am really interested to see what they're gonna scam up because you know it's gonna make a lot of money for a small amount of time. Oh, that's yeah. Just really quick, and maybe I'll move this to the segment before. But this whole thing about shorts is also really interesting. Like taking a short out on something, like everything is short amount of time. You only have this much time, right? Like everyone's thinking about time and
So
legacy and
finite.
it's so finite. It's everything's about the short. Like everything's getting it at this moment. So I thought that's also an interesting thing that we might want to go back to. But I am bullish on Stern Towel.
Mm,
I'm bearish on whatever Yasmin and Henry Mook are doing.
for
That seems
sure,
like
for sure.
I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't like that
I
either.
don't know.
It was definitely an arranged marriage, arranged by them.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not never mind, I'm not gonna say that. I
I
will
got
say
to
I
say.
am bearish on I'm definitely bearish on, I'm 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 bearish on Tinder. I'm bearish on
Oh, okay.
Tinder and the Tinder storyline because I don't know what the hell he doing in Africa.
Yeah.
Until we figure
That's
out
my
what's
most
happening
volatile.
in Ghana, like, are you going to Daddy December? Like, what's happening?
Because what is going on?
And I don't want people to catch on to whatever dark-sidedness is happening in Ghana.
Yeah.
So I definitely am bearish on that. Most volatile, Stern Towel. That shit needs to go. It's like, I'm not even gonna say I'm bearish on it. That shit needs to go. I do want a hat, but it's like at some
I
point
want to have to.
the Stern Towel connection is like so when I was rewatching the show before the season came on, I should have worn an Apple Watch to like measure my heart rate because I was like, this is too like panic inducing.
Yeah, it's stressful.
And
They
they
are
bring out
stressful
the worst in
characters.
each other too. It's like the worst parts of themselves are on display, like, literally our high
Yeah.
school selves going into business together.
Literally. Us if we did finance, like,
If
it
we did
would
finance. Yeah,
us if we were on the DECA trip, like
literally, literally.
like, no.
Extremely
Okay.
volatile. I will also to go back to bearish, I'm sorry, I'm bearish on Quabena. I didn't like his energy.
Okay, that was very strange. He does give boy that's in NBA school. Like black boy NBA, like
Yes, that's one card
you
out.
might roofie me, but you might be a nice
He's
guy.
alpha that went to business school.
Alpha that went to business school, he might not do all the little stuff, but he might slip a little something in your gorilla juice.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know what he got a little bit too smart of a mouth. I don't like no smart mouth man.
No. What else? What's your most volatile?
My most volatile, my most volatile was Tinder and whatever what's his name is doing. Actually, I might actually add Jonah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he's pretty volatile. I don't know. I think he's now that he's kicked out, like, what is his next move? Because he knows where all the
These
maybe
are
to
very
some extent, he knows where everything's buried.
true.
He knows all the skeletons in the closet. So I'll be interested to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Okay. And lastly is who's the safe haven? Where's the safe space? Where are you? We're back into it. It's a little bit comfortable. Here we are. Was there any places like that?
People are gonna want me to say yes, Harper, and that's not it.
That's not it.
They
I
make
don't
me
like that
sick.
relationship.
They literally make me sick. There's not really a safe haven in industry, I'm not gonna lie. Sweet pea, sweet pea. I think sweet
Yes, maybe
pea.
Sweet Pea.
Oh, most
I'm gonna
volatile.
say
We overlooked the most volatile of them all, Rishi.
who? Rishi. Aw.
Earl.
Maybe this is I don't wanna say most volatile. I want this to be his upper momentum arc.
No, that's not gonna
I don't think so. He already
that's not
showed
gonna
off
happen because
himself
he's hitched his star to Harper.
to Harper Jean and
He
Stern Tao.
we already know that she's volatile, and I already voted Stern Tao as most volatile. So
That's fair. My safe haven is gonna be with um Harper Stern's box braids.
I'm
Those braids are
actually Harper
cunty.
Stern's apartment.
I'm Harper Stern's apartment. I'm Harper Stern's power suit.
Yeah,
That was honestly, like I said, that was the best frame of the whole
Harper
goddamn
Stern's
first
quote.
episode. Her entrance, her welcome back to industry moment. Yeah. I was like, "Oh, I'm home."
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that, do you have any other predictions or do you have anything to add? Any closing
Um,
thoughts? We've kind of talked about
predictions.
these.
I don't know. I feel like the thing that I like best about industry is like you see it coming, but the way that it happens maybe is not how you expect it or how like the kind of the song and dance of whatever the current plot exposition is.
Yeah.
And they have introduced quite a few plots. So I am
There is a
curious
lot of
to see
plots.
how they all are woven together and like at what point they're all gonna cross each other. I don't necessarily have any predictions other than I know for a fact Stern Tao is stocks will be down for the season. They will be defunct.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I think I want to be bearish on them. I want them to succeed,
Of course you do.
but it's just like
Harper is evil. Like, I'm sorry.
She's evil. She's so evil, but we love complicated,
We love
complex
evil
black
women.
characters. We love it.
We love evil women. I'm a
So,
Housewives stan, so whatever.
well, pal, this was great.
That was some bullish.
That was some bull-ish. That was some real bull-ish, okay?
Did it,
Play
Joe?
my sound. We did it. Our first episode
First ep, done and dusted. 2.5
done and
hours.
dusted.
But that
Two and
doesn't
a half
it didn't feel
hours.
like that long. We could have talked I could have talked longer.
Yeah, it didn't feel that long. And then we have like so much like filler.
Mhm.
Like we have stuff that's it'll probably hit right at 2 hours, I feel like. I feel like that was definitely 30
That's
minutes of a
reasonable.
yapper. So 2:15 for our first episode where we had 35 new characters. We in a whole nother place. Like there's no continuity. Like we
Season
really started from
4
ground
at
zero.
that.
This is basically a new show.
This is a
This is
new
a
show.
reboot.
This is a new show. And so are we, and that was bullish.
That was bullish. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
I'm gonna stop recording it.
Okay.